Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we have another voiceover, as this is going to be the first, what I'm going to call record store showcase. And this is one of my local record stores from me, and I've gotten to know the owners pretty well, so they know me as kind of the Beatles guy. And I was going to kind of take you through the store best that I can. It's my first time kind of doing a kind of video of a store and kind of going through some records, so it'll be kind of maybe a rougher first take or so. And as you were about to see, the record store is pretty tight and compact, so I kind of had to do what I can to get some good videos, and the lighting inside is also not the greatest. But anyway, I did the best that I could, and the first picture here is just kind of the outside part of the record store before you walk into this next picture. And as you can see, you got records, boxes, walls of CDs, pretty much anywhere and everywhere. And so you kind of got to know your spots of where all the stuff is at in terms of what you're looking for there. Since I've been there quite a while, I kind of know where to go. But first, here's just kind of a quick overview of the store. Just kind of quick video, just kind of panorama all around of kind of where I was standing at in the middle of the store, essentially. So you can see packed of boxes everywhere. There's some box sets at the kind of display. And there's kind of the back counter with some CDs, and yeah, it's just packed tight. As you can imagine, it can get pretty crowded on a record store day, as they do record store day as well in my area. They're not the biggest store that does that in the area, but they do hold some titles, and they try to get in contact with customers before they do a pre-order. So now we're going to kind of take you through the spots that they have records that I'm interested in. Obviously, that's going to be Beatles and solo Beatles related, and there's a couple boxes near the front that they kind of have kind of new arrivals at for Beatles and stuff like that. Beatles have a lot of different spots throughout the store, so I'll kind of take you through that right here, and you'll kind of see me pull some things out I might be interested in. That was a Chartbusters Volume 4, and it had a couple Beatles songs on it, as well as some popular hits at the time. And then we got a couple reissues here. I'll kind of go through and show you what I'm looking for on a kind of a quick basis. So as I turn around a Beatles something new, I typically take a look at the back bottom right corner. There's typically a number that signifies a pressing plant to the corresponding number, and typically 2 and 3 corresponds to original first pressings from Scranton. So it's just a real easy check for me to see if I need it or not, as I mainly have a lot of the original ones by now. So if I can just check that, I'll flip through it without even having to take out the record. So there's a couple other Beatles stuff in there, a Magical Mystery Tour reissue, but nothing too much this time, but that happens. And then the next box, some solo stuff here. Again, for solo stuff, I got most of the originals, so I'm looking for either upgrades in the shrink wrap with hype stickers, or reissues on the Purple Capitol label, things later reissues from there. So even the McCartney record that I flipped through, there's some label variations that I'll check as well, like ooh you being spelled differently, and the font on the Apple label will be a little bit different at certain times. So again, not much. A couple John Lennon records, some original, some reissues, like new reissues from like the 2010s to late 2010 time frame, and a couple Beatles box sets as well. And then we're going to move on to the CD section. They kind of have two sections of CDs that kind of restart alphabetically, so I kind of check the B's in two different sections. Nothing too much this time around. And there is that Beatles Anthology 1 CD that I see all the time, and they typically have like two or three in stock every time I go there. It's kind of funny. So nothing too much there. Again, I'll check the solo sections too somewhat alphabetically. It's a loose alphabetical order, if that kind of makes sense. But nothing there, unfortunately. And then when I was kind of looking around the store, there was a little bins of some magazines, and there happened to be a Beatles TV magazine. So I kind of pulled that out to take a look at later, and they got boxes of 45s everywhere. They priced those at $1 a piece, and there's a couple Ringo 45s there. It was a year 16 at Back Off Boogaloo. I actually took the year 16 out of the box because I wasn't sure if I had that on the Apple label compared to the custom Ringo Starr label. So now we got the next section of Beatles records, some reissued as shown there, and then some original ones. Again, I'm kind of checking the back corner on those. And I'll pretty much go through the records if it's something I'm interested. I just kind of do that off camera. It's kind of tough to film me pulling out the record and all that kind of stuff. Got some more reissues up next. And then another section of alphabetical rock, I would say. And they had a couple Beatles records in there. And I would say I find something new in Beatles 6 there a ton. They always seem to have multiple copies of that record. Yeah, one day I'll get the Beatles beat. Yeah, but next up we got a couple CD box sets there. We got the stereo and mono box set. Been there for a little bit now. I might need to do some research to see how to, or to see if a Beatles mono box set is real or fake, all that kind of stuff. Probably just do the quality. Might not be something I'm interested right now, but still kind of neat to have around and see it around and always kind of tempt me. But you got it. The next Beatles section here, you have the couple of reissues here. And another easy way is for the to tell is for the gold record label sealed, the gold record award seal on there. That's a really easy way to tell a reissue, so I might check that record label out to see if it's a red, orangey capital label or purple label or anything after that. And then one record I am looking for is a version 1 of Introducing the Beatles. So as you can see, it has Love Me Do and P.S. I Love You on the back, but that's not always the case that it matches the record on the inside for these VJ records, because it always seems to be mismatched. And of course, the label did not have Love Me Do, and P.S. I Love You had Please Please Me instead. So that was unfortunate. And then we just got some more Beatles reissues and other bands to follow. And then here's just kind of a close-up of one of the CD/DVD walls. Definitely have a lot of good stuff up there, and they have a lot of Beatles movies as well. So I always kind of like looking at them. And then the next I'm going to show you is the CD wall behind the counter, and they'll have some Beatles and solo Beatles stuff back there. So the owner guy will kind of take off some chunks of CDs at a time and show them to me, and then I kind of picked out a couple to potentially look at. I didn't have the reissue of Concert for Bangladesh. I think it was like a 2005. But I was going to hold off because I think there's one that comes in a box instead of just a jewel case with some other extra stuff in it. So I'm going to wait and hold off on that for now. And then there was also a Beatles bootleg CD as well, and with some Let It Be sessions that I was thinking about getting as well. And here's just a close-up of the Beatles Chart Busters Volume 4. With a couple Beatles songs. I Want to Hold Your Hand, and I Saw Her Standing There, and a Beach Boys song as well. This was also a Canadian release. It's just the price on this one was just probably a little bit too much for right now. It was $25 if it was maybe a $10 to $15 probably would have pulled the trigger on it and got, but decided to pass on that for now. Typically, their prices are pretty good for used records. Anywhere from $6 to $25, essentially. Again, they do look up and research all the records, so obviously the nicer records they'll price accordingly, but they usually try to give you fair prices, and they'll typically work with you. So I hope you kind of like those in-store shots and kind of an insider look on what I look for at record stores. Now I'll take it to I guess say I'm live in the Beatles room and show you what I got next. Alrighty, back in a normal position here in the record room. But I hope you kind of like that voiceover and kind of video. Again, I try my best, and again, it's a little tight and crowded in there. But anyway, I did my best there, and then I realized I didn't even shout out the record store name. I put it up there, but it's called Renaissance Records, and it's in Birmingham, Alabama, and it's about an hour away from where I live. And I was going to show you a couple things that I picked up there. That was kind of showing in the clips there, and again, I ended up picking up the Year 16 back with Devil Woman, Ringo Starr 45. I just didn't have it on the Apple label, and I just had it on the custom Ringo Starr label. And then for CDs there was one Beatles CD bootleg I was kind of thinking about. And again, I don't really collect bootlegs, especially CD bootlegs. And but I ended up picking it up. The owner guy said, "Go ahead and listen to it. If you don't like it, or if it doesn't sound good, you can always return it." So it was pretty much kind of like a win-win for me. If I liked it, I would just kind of keep it. So um, here is the Let It Be Rehearsals Volume 2. This is pretty much all George Harrison songs and outtakes and things like that. And they call it the Part 1 of the electric set. And the electric guitar was kind of prominent on the songs there. I wish I heard some of the voices uh, or the singing a little bit more over the guitar, which were a little bit overpowered at time. But there was actually some pretty good highlights here, and some stuff I haven't heard before. And so there's a couple of different versions of All Things Must Pass. There's a version of Old Brown Chew that was pretty cool that I don't think I've heard before. They also covered some songs as well as the band's I Shall Be Released and Bob Dylan Positively 4th Street. So those are kind of fun to hear. And one of the highlights here is that there was like a version of something that lasted for about 7 to 8 minutes or so. Now they weren't singing something for 7 to 8 minutes. They were like working out some lyrics and things like that. So that was pretty cool. So they also covered On the Road Again, the Canned Heat song. So yeah, pretty interesting. It was a fun listen in the car, at least. He goes through some All Things Must Pass songs. Let It Down is over. There's multiple takes of that. And Hear Me Lord, I Me Mine also on there for Let It Be stuff. And then, of course, All Things Must Pass was on there as well. So I think I'm going to end up keeping it. I guess I might look out for more of these series to complete this volume set. This is on the Yellow Dog label. This came out in 1993. So interesting. And you think I saw some videos saying that the vault is empty, but there's plenty of stuff like that out. I'm guessing on bootlegs and things like that. So anyway, and then also in the video I showed the TV Guide magazine, and I didn't really know what year this came from, and the owner didn't either. So I did a little research and going through the TV Guide, and it had the Get Back documentary in it. So I was like, okay, it's not that old. So I did a little quick search, and then it was from like 2023. So the owner just ended up giving this to me. It kind of just goes through all the Beatles movies and TV shows, cartoons, and obviously the new documentary that this came out for. So those are the couple things, or the few things I picked up from this record store this time. And again, I hope you kind of liked the new format here, or the new type of videos that I might be doing. and kind of again giving a little insight of what I look for while flipping through records. And so yeah, I do have a few other record stores within an hour of me, so I might have to do some more videos maybe when I do a little bit of traveling and finding some other record stores so I can do some more like this if you like it. So that was the first record store showcase, and I'll see you on the next video.